Hello everyone and welcome to Bevins Bricks, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing a lot of the common terms that you may hear if you're new to the Lego world and maybe you don't know the definition or the reason it's called that. So if this is something that interests you, stick around because it's coming up. Now, a lot of the terms I'm going to go over, I'm sure a lot of you already know what they are. For example, a plate. A plate is any part with one stud and a third in height of a brick. And since I said brick, let's go ahead and get to that as well. Here is a brick. This would be a 1x1 brick with one stud on it. And with a brick, 3 plates equals 1 brick. So just to give you an example and show you, this is 3 plates put together and they are the same thickness as 1 brick. Now this next word, I've actually been asked on a couple occasions what it actually stands for, and that word is mock. Mock stands for my own creation, and as I'm showing you some pictures, these are some of my own creations that I've made out of Lego. Now this next word I'm sure you all already know, because if you're like me and you're watching my channel, you are probably one of them, and that is AFOL. Now with AFOL, that is adult fan of Lego is what that actually stands for. But now I've also heard of people say TFOL, which would be a teen fan of Lego, or a KFOL, which is a kid fan of Lego, and several other variants of terms. But the biggest thing is AFOL, which is adult fan of Lego, like I said, which is what I am. One other term that you've probably heard me say a lot, and you've probably seen a few videos on my channel here lately, is the Mills plate system. And what that is what you see right here. It's the modular integrated landscaping system. But people also do roads and other things out of it for city builds. And what the primary function for the Mills plate system is for is that way, because it's modular, it allows you to be able to attach and detach different parts to it easily. So for like a lug group, when they get together to do a show, they can all bring their displays and they should match up. And now, because I just said it while I was discussing the Mills plate system, I wanted to talk about lug. And what a lug is a Lego user group. Typically, a lug group is somebody that goes out and does displays, whether it be for charity or for whatever. But the thing is, with a lug group, if you join and belong to a lug group, you can usually, from what I understand anyway, as I don't belong to one, you are usually able to purchase Legos directly, and that's something else I want to correct in a minute, but you can purchase Lego directly through Lego, and you will actually get a pretty decent discount because, again, most of the stuff that you do is for charity events. Now next, because I just said it wrong, I want to talk about Lego. The reason I'm saying that is a lot of people get offended if you say Legos, as that is not the plural of Lego. Lego in and of itself is the singular and the plural of itself. If you want to discuss Lego in a plural fashion, you are supposed to say, I want to talk about my bulk amount of Lego parts that I have. So you would, or I have a large Lego quantity, or I have a lot of Lego bricks. So you never use a Lego with an S, as I get corrected on that quite frequently. Next up, we're going to talk about Technic, or Technique, as I call it quite frequently myself. And the reason that I say Technique is because that was what I was taught as a kid to say. The way that it is spelled, as you can see over here, it is actually Technic, I believe would be the correct way to state that particular term. But anyway, when we're talking about Technic, or Technique, whichever you prefer to say, typically you're talking about any Lego part that has these types of holes in it. And they are all able to be interconnected with the Lego Technic pin. Now the next thing I want to say is microscale. And what microscale is, or stands for, is obviously what you can see here in front of you. If you're a longtime viewer of my channel, you'll be familiar with this build, as I had this on top of my tensegrity build. But anyway, when someone says microscale, they mean that it's smaller than this minifig can interact with. As typically most of these builds, they do make them in a size where the minifig can fit inside of them. And as you can see here, that minifig would actually be looking at it as if it was a display. Now the next term that a lot of you may or may not have heard is snot. No, I don't mean that kind of snot. Anyway, when you hear people use the word snot, what they're talking about is what you see right here, which is studs not on top. And an example of studs not on top, here is a brick with the stud on the side, which would be used for any type of snot technique. And again, since we're already here and looking at this particular build, which is my train station, and it's very filthy, so excuse it as it needs a good thorough cleaning. Another term that you might hear is Griebel or Griebling. I've heard it called both. Typically you hear people say Griebel though. And what they're referring to in this particular situation here is all the nice little detail that you see on the front of the building to give it more texture and give it a more aesthetic feel to it. Again, that is Griebel. But again, it's just referring to all the little bits that you would put on the front or the side or whatever of a build, of any type of build, to give it more detail. Now the last word I'm going to actually discuss for this particular video is called the Dark Ages, or I've also heard people refer to it as the Gray Ages. And when you hear somebody say the Dark Ages of Lego or the Gray Ages of Lego, what they're typically referring to is the time when they, for most people, it's usually in their early 20s, maybe 30 years, in their 30s, when they weren't playing with Lego. For me, it was basically from the time I was about 18 until I started having my own kids, which was about 28. So I had a 10-year period of dark ages in Lego in my particular case, but that's what people are typically referring to. Anyway, there's tons of other terms in Lego that I'm sure I could discuss, but I think those are the most important ones, and those are the ones that I know I've been asked on at one point in time or another. So I thought I'd have a little fun and make a quick video and post it. So as always, for each and every one of you, thank you for all your continued support. I really, truly do appreciate it. If you get a chance, check out my links in the description and the comments of this video below, as all sales from those links do help my page. And as always, thank you for coming to Bevins Bricks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share below, and we'll see you next time on Bevins Bricks.